All right, so just having a couple blocks for today, and then we will get started. So we're going to start sitting in Sukhasana with the crossed legs. And arriving here on your mat. Using the arms alongside and a little behind, or however you want. Sometimes actually holding the knees. There's another good way to get that little length and lift in the spine and space in the hip sockets. Whatever little shifting and squinging you feel you need to do into those joints. And slowly releasing with the arms, letting the hands rest on the knees. Inhale and exhale, letting go of the rest of the day. Turn your focus inward, feeling your breath. Letting that get a little slower, a little deeper. And then let's reach out wide through the collarbones, through the fingertips. Inhale and exhale, breathing those arms up. Inhale and exhale, breathing them down. And let's do that once more, breathing them up and down. And then coming forward and over. Big round breaths into the back of the body. And we'll walk our hands over to the right diagonal. Long reach along the left side. And then through the center over to the left diagonal. And then coming back to the center. And coming up, unfurling that spine vertebrae by vertebrae back up on top of the sitting bones. Inhaling and exhaling, arriving in this moment. And then let's change the cross of the legs. Then we'll do the jellyfish twisting. So we'll reach out wide through the arms and breathe the arms up. And then taking a twist to the right, letting those arms float down, left hand to the right knee, right hand to the floor. Let's take a couple breaths, deepening. And then coming back up, bringing the arms back up into the center. Lift a little more, twisting left, floating the arms down. And taking 2 or 3 breaths, deepening into the twist. And then we'll go back and forth on the single breath, or you can linger a little longer in the twist if you want. Inhale through the center, exhale and twist. Inhale, center, exhale and twist. And like I said, going on your own time, and maybe you feel you really want to hold for 2 or 3 breaths in the twist again. And then continuing back and forth and back. And see if you can feel like it's the breath that's leading the inhale and the exhale. And we'll finish with this in the next 2 or 3 twists. And finishing right and left for yourself. And we'll just all meet back up in the center. And you can bring the arms down, letting the hands rest on the knees. Inhale and exhale, just noticing where things are now, how your body feels, how your breath feels. And then we will come on to all fours. I'm not going to do a lot of cat and cow, but maybe 2 or 3. And then finding the neutral spine, long and flat against the ceiling. And we'll extend the left leg back with the toes tucked under, pressing back into that left heel, stretching down the back of the left leg. And then we'll lift the right thigh up in the hover plank, reaching from the right knee out the left heel. And setting the right knee down, we'll switch legs, extending the right leg back with the toes tucked under, stretching back along the right leg. And then lifting the left thigh up, stretching even more from the left knee out the right heel. And setting the left knee down. And then we'll put the left hand in the center, twisting open to the right. And the thread the needle shoulder stretch, taking the right arm under, walking the right hand out, and then reaching the right shoulder for the floor. Couple more breaths here. And then extracting the right arm, and we'll go to the other side. So right hand in the center, twisting open to the left. And then diving that left arm through, walking the hands out, sinking the shoulder down. Inhale and exhale, really breathing into your body, feeling what you're feeling. And one more deep breath. And extracting your left arm. And then let's expand up in downward facing dog. Big yawn in the back of the knees, walking the dog or anything else you want to do here. And then finishing up with whatever you're doing. Being in your best downward facing dog of the moment, reaching down through the heels, reaching up through the sitting bones and through the hips. And then let's lengthen out to the plank, long and flat against the ceiling. And then setting the knees down on all fours, and we'll Namaste. Knees just chin to the floor, hinging back with a big cow back, pulling the shoulders forward. Shoulders come down near the fingertips while those hips continue to lift up and back a moment, and then sliding out to the small cobra. And then pulling the elbows back, top of the head forward, lengthening down. 3 more small cobras. Lengthening up and lengthening down. Using those upper back muscles. And once more. And coming down, let's go to the Sphinx, bringing the elbows forward, reaching out through the forearms, pulling back with the elbows, pulling back with the hands, reaching through the toes. And then feeling like you're bridge posing into the floor, bend the knees, reaching the upper back and heels toward each other. And the top of the head and the toes toward the ceiling. And extending the legs out and coming back up to downward facing dog. And if you like to go through a vinyasa, you could go through the vinyasa here, or just holding your downward facing dog. And then looking between the hands to jump a step forward. Into the concave back, halfway up. Folding over. And coming up to standing, big front body yawn. Pressing the arms down. Let's come all the way around to Namaste. Inhale and exhale. Samastiti, steadiness. Let's do one more half sun salute. Big lift up. And diving over. Concave back. And folding over. And coming back up to standing. Pressing the arms down long through the top of the head to the interlocked fingers, rolling the shoulders out, lifting up the front of the body to lift the chest, to lift the chin. And coming over, squeezing those upper arms toward each other. And then we're going to twist here. So let's go to the left first. So we're going to take a bend of the right knee, pull the hands to the right, bringing the right shoulder to the right knee. And coming back to the center, and then the other direction, bending the left knee, left shoulder toward the left knee, hands to the left as we twist the shoulders right. And back to the center. And then release the hands. And let's step back with the left leg. So we're in the right lunge. And then we're going to pick up the right leg into the hover plank. Long from the knee to the left heel. And lifting that up to three-legged dog. And let's do two more hover planks. Knee forward. And lift. And forward. And lift. And then stepping through to the lunge. So we're in our right lunge again. And this time we'll bring the left knee down and Jayasana. Inhaling up the front, exhale, pouring down the back. And then twisting to the right, arms come parallel to the floor, a long reach. A little tilt forward, hooking the left arm across the outer right knee, pulling a little wider. And then we can bring that right hand around to Namaste. And Namaste in the center. And we'll step back to the plank. Through the Vinyasa, any version, downward facing dog. Looking between the hands to jump or step forward. Into the concave back, halfway up. Folding over. Coming up to standing, big front body yawn. And we're going to press those arms down and once again interlocking the fingers. And lifting up the front of the body to lift the chest, to lift the chin. And coming forward. And we'll twist again. So let's twist to the right first. This time bending the left knee, pulling the hands left. And to the center. And twisting left, bending the right knee, pulling the hands right. Back to the center. And release the hands. And we'll step back with the right leg into the long, low lunge. And then hands to the floor, lifting the left leg up in the hover plank. Long line from the left knee to the right heel. And swooping up to three-legged dog. Take a breath or two there, stretching long. And then two more hover planks. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Three-legged dog. Through to the lunge. And let's bring the right knee down and Jayasana. And we'll twist to the left, making your way slowly to the twist, parallel to the forearms. A little tilt, hooking the arms over, reaching wide, and then bringing the hands to Namaste. And Namaste in the center. And coming into the lunge to step back to the plank. Through the Vinyasa, downward facing dog. And a deep breath here. Looking between the hands to jump or step forward. Into the concave back, halfway up. Folding over. And bending the knees, sitting down on the floor in Baddha Konasana. Feet together, knees out to the side. Holding on to the ankles or shins long through the top of the head. And we'll come forward, pressing down and out with the elbows. And come up, bring those legs in and returning to the forward bend. And let's take a concave back, folding over, and coming up to standing, big front body yawn. And around to Namaste in front. So if you've got those blocks, having them up here near the front where you might want them in the next section here. All right. And then arranging clothes and hair as needed. Breathing nice and steady in Namaste. And let's come over. Big front body yawn and diving over. Concave back, folding over. Jumping or stepping back through the Vinyasa, downward facing dog. And let's lift the right leg up, reaching long through the heel. This time we're going to lower the right leg, touching the big toe to the left heel, reaching that right leg down longer and reaching it back up longer. Let's do that twice more. So it's not just about the end points. Every moment on the journey to the heel and back up into the air is important. And once more. And then bending the knee dog at the high fire hydrants. And through to the lunge. And coming up in either the high lunge or the warrior number 1. And let's take a circle all the way around with the arms and back up overhead. And Namaste in front. And then straightening the front leg, coming over into Parsvottanasana, maybe the pyramid pose, getting hold of the block. So pyramid pose with your heel still a little lifted and square like it had been in the high lunge, or maybe it rotates a little in and down like the position from the warrior 1. And really working the leg muscles, pulling up and then pouring over any amounts. And then coming up into the warrior 3 or supported warrior 3. Maybe taking your block or blocks for the hands or just coming up into a balancing warrior 3. And then lower the left leg down next to the right. And let's take a twist to the right. Maybe you want to stay up here on the block or adjusting the height of the block. Maybe that left hand can reach the floor. And twisting here with the legs as straight as you can make them. And then we'll come around to a Namaste Utkatasana chair pose. Bend the knees, swoop the right arm around to meet the left in Namaste. Breathing into our chair. And then pouring back into the forward bend. Concave back, folding over, jumping or stepping back, Vinyasa, downward facing dog. All right, let's lift our left leg up. And then reaching long through the left heel to carry it down, big toe to the right heel, and lengthening the left leg back up. Doing that twice more. Lowering it slowly and lifting it. Feeling like the leg gets longer and longer with each moment. And once more. And then bending the knee dog at the high fire hydrant. And through to the lunge. Coming up in either the high lunge or the warrior number. And circling the arms all the way around and back up overhead. And namaste in front. And then straightening the left leg, tipping yourself into the pyramid pose with your back heel square and probably lifted, or the heel down, the position from the warrior one, Parsvottanasana. And working those muscles to straighten those legs, and then pouring over as much as you can. And then looking forward, a little bend in the left knee, coming to warrior three, maybe balancing, maybe using a block or blocks for the hands here. Really reaching through the right heel, make that right leg hold itself. And then setting the right foot down next to the left. And we'll take a twist to the left, maybe being on the same height block you have, or adjusting, or maybe the right hand can reach the floor as we twist to the left. Extending those legs as much as you can. And then to the Namaste Utkatasana. Bend the knees, reach around with the left arm, hands to Namaste. And then springing up, big front body yawn. Let's take an extra circle with the arms here. And diving over. And then we'll all lengthen out. We'll all do the supported warrior three here. So one block or maybe two blocks. And we'll lift our left leg up. Long line from the top of the head out the left heel. Abdominal muscles pulling up against the spine, against the ceiling. And then like we did in downward facing dog, reaching that left leg down, toe touches the right heel, and reaching the left leg back up. And let's do that twice more. Lengthening down and lengthening up. And once more. And taking a big step back and coming up in either the warrior one or the high lunge. And then we'll just bring the arms down and turn into the lunge, picking up that right leg in the hover plank. And up to three-legged dog. And then we're going to do a couple hover planks to the fallen triangle. So knee center hover plank and lift, right elbow and lift, and left elbow to the fallen triangle. Outer edge of the right foot on the floor slides out, pivot onto the inner edge or sole of the left foot. Maybe you're going to do this with both hands out on the floor, you could, or picking the left arm up, lifting up from underneath. And bringing that left hand back down, stepping back up to downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here, or maybe in child's pose. And then we'll look between the hands to jump or step forward. Into the concave back, folding over. Coming up to standing, big front body yawn. And taking an extra circle around with the arms. And coming forward. And then lengthening out, hands on the blocks for supported warrior 3 with the right leg lifted, lifting that right leg up. We're reaching through the right heel, making the right leg hold itself, long and flat against the steel. Strong core working as well. And then we'll reach that right leg down, big toe to the left heel, reaching the right leg back up. And let's do that twice more. Hold a couple more breaths. Big step back. Coming up in either the warrior 1 or the high lunge. Breathing here. Letting go of any tension that you need to let go of. And namaste in front and into the floor. And then picking up the left leg in the hover plank. Up to three-legged dog. And then around to the fallen triangle. So we'll hover plank knee center and lift, left elbow and lift, right elbow, and then fallen triangle, sliding the outer edge of the left leg along the floor, pivoting on the right foot, maybe staying here with both arms on the floor, or taking the right arm up, pressing up from underneath. And bringing that right arm down, we'll step back to downward facing dog. Taking 3 deep breaths there. And then looking between the hands to jump a step forward. Into the concave back, halfway up. Folding over. And bending the knees all the way down to the floor. Sitting in Baddha Konasana. Feet together, knees out to the side. Lengthening up through the top of the head, coming forward. Inhaling into the center of the body, exhale, pouring out. And come back up. Bringing those legs together. Coming up onto our feet. Expanding back up into the forward. And then let's concave back, folding over, jumping or stepping back through the Vinyasa, downward facing dog. And let's lift the right leg up. And dog at the high fire hydrant, like Baddha Konasana up there between the right and left inner thigh. And through to the lunge, warrior number 2, the lateral lunge. Making sure we have that knee, inner thigh to inner knee over the and then dancing warrior, bringing that right arm up and away, and then pulling more through that inner right thigh out the knee. And into the triangle, Trikonasana, tilting over. Straightening the right leg. Coming back to the warrior 2, bending the right knee, pulling with the left hand, warrior 2. And then reaching out into the side angle, Parsva Konasana. Maybe elbow on the knee, maybe getting the hand to the floor. And then up to Ardha Chandrasana, the half moon. Shifting the weight forward and up. And then we're going to turn to face the floor, going into a sort of supported warrior three here again, maybe using the block. And then we'll continue twisting to the right, the rotated half moon. So if your right hip is done with holding everything up, you can always put your left foot down and do the standing forward bend twist. And then we're going to bend the right leg, take the left under into Namaste and Vinyasa. Oh. So I've got my right leg on top, left leg on the bottom. Long through the top of the head. And let's twist to the left toward the open side. And then walking the hands out to the left side. Negotiating with your right sitting bone, finding a good spot for yourself, breathing here. And coming back up, disentangling those legs. And we'll come up onto our feet in the forward bend. Breathing there. And concave back, folding over through the Vinyasa downward facing dog. And here we go around on the left, lifting the left leg up. Bending the knee dog at the high fire. And through to the lunge. Warrior number 2 on the left. Making sure we got that alignment with the knee over the front. Dancing warrior, bring that left arm up and away, and then pull a little more through the left inner thigh. And into the triangle, Trikonasana, tilting over, straightening up that left. And back to the warrior two, bending the left knee, pulling with the right hand. And then into the side angle, maybe elbow on the knee or thigh, maybe going lower. So remember, if you go lower, everything has to go a little lower. Try not to straighten up that left leg if you're trying to take the hand down toward the floor. And then up to the half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Shifting a little up on top of that left leg a little more and lifting up. And I forgot to say this on the first side, but maybe you could go to the triangle instead, back to the triangle instead of to the half. And then we'll turn to face the floor, maybe the hands on the blocks, squaring up those hips like a supported warrior three. And then we'll keep going, twisting to the left, bringing that left arm up in the rotated half moon. Or you can set your right foot down next to the left and do a rotated forward bend. Or you could do rotated triangle too. Should have thought of that before. And then bend in the left knee, taking the right under to Matsyendrasana. And then here we are, Matsyendrasana with the left leg crossed over. And we'll twist to the right toward the open side. And then walking out to the right side. Engaging with that left sitting bone, a lot of resistance, not so much resistance, finding a good spot and breathing here. And coming back up. And we'll disentangle our legs, coming into the forward bend. And then just here from the forward bend, we'll try that rotated half moon again, or maybe not, depending on how you're feeling. You could make your way to child's pose or twist in the forward bend, rotated triangle instead, or any other thing you think of. Meanwhile, here we are. Those who are going to come along with me, we're in the standing forward bend. And let's come all the way up for air into the front body yawn. With an extra circle with the arms. Try not to make that a big strain, or maybe doing it again if it felt really good. And then diving back over. And lengthening out maybe on the tippy fingers, maybe on the blocks. And we're going to lift our left leg up, pressing down into the right foot, reaching through the left heel, long through the top of the head. And let's take one lower and lift with the left leg, touching the right heel and lifting the left leg back up. All right, and then twisting to the right, left hand on the floor of the block, bringing the right arm up. One more big breath. And bringing that left leg down. A little bend in the knees, letting the head hang. And then we'll head to the other side, lengthening out again, nice and square. And we'll lift the right leg up, reaching long through the heel. So not a standing split. We're not trying to get that right leg as high as we can, just parallel to the floor. Maybe you can see it back there. And then we'll reach the right big toe down to the left heel and pressing it back up and twisting to the left. One more deep breath here. And then we'll bring the arm down, the leg down, bend in the knees like a standing child's pose. And we'll make our way back to downward facing dog through the vinyasa or not. And then we'll all meet up in downward facing dog, or maybe in child's pose, which is where we're headed. If you're still here in downward facing dog, 3 more deep breaths here. And then coming down, sitting back in child's pose. And let's come forward onto our stomach into the Sphinx. Pulling with the elbows, pulling with the hands. Reaching long through the toes. And bridge posing into the floor, bending the knees. Pulling the upper back and heels toward each other. Also a feeling of lifting toward the ceiling. And extending the legs back. Maybe there's a little more lift in the upper body. Calm down. Couple deep breaths here. And then coming up and onto our knees. All right, we're going to do, as you might know, Ustrasana, the camel pose, kind of the same idea. Before we go there though, just being here vertical, I'm imagining that pelvis is on the floor or the wall in front of you, and you just bent your legs, and you're doing a little bridge pose action into the floor, into the wall in front of you. Maybe adding a little bit more strength there into the center of the body as we bring those arms up and coming up and over. The hands can come to the heels or maybe the sacrum, whichever is a good spot for you right now. We're going to repeat this, so you got a second one. And breathing here. And then come back up, lifting the arms up, descending to the heels, using help from the arms as needed, or maybe coming down with painful slowness. Breathe. And then we'll come back up on our knees, ascending. And Ustrasana once more. And coming up. And descending once again. And then we'll descend all the way back into child's pose. And coming up. And we'll take the legs straight out in front. And going to Janu Shirsasana. So legs straight in front. And then we'll take that left leg out to the side, or maybe a little shift of the sitting bone. It goes a little diagonal back. You can always put a block under that left knee if it's kind of high. And we're facing the right leg. Doing a little twisting to the rightness and reaching with the left hand along the right leg, coming forward. Inhale, lots of space. Exhale, gently deepening. Being patient, letting your breath ease you out and over a little more. And then we'll bring the right hand to meet the left, going forward over the right. And coming up, and we will switch sides. Bring that right leg back, or maybe to the side, wherever it goes. Maybe a block under the right knee, so you can get a little more square and even and anchored on the sitting bones. And a little twisting to the left. And then reaching with the right arm down the left. Don't try to force past that stuck point or that edge. Just rest against it. Inhale and exhale, gently encouraging a little more softness, a little giving way. And then bringing your left hand to meet the right, coming forward over the left. And coming up. And bringing that right leg out next to the left. A little forward bend to even up both sides. And then making your way down to the floor. And to Shavasana. So if you feel like you would like a little more opening in front of the hip joints there, maybe doing the block under the sacrum, but I would suggest using the lower block instead of going for the big lift. Something a little more gentle, but lying flat on the floor, really letting the backs of the legs be heavy into the floor is also a big opening of the front of the hip joints because we're usually a little flexed into them. So even when we're in what we might call a neutral position, it's often actually a stretch of the muscles and the soft tissues there. All right, meanwhile, here we are somewhere with our weight supported by the earth. Closing the eyes. Inhaling and exhaling every breath, letting go a little more. And if you're still on the block, bend the knees and come off the block. Letting that lower back melt completely into the floor for a few breaths. And breathing back into your body, into the room. Moving the fingers and toes, maybe circling the wrists and ankles. Stretching the arms up overhead. Bending the knees. And gently making your way up to sitting. And sitting in any comfortable position with that long and spacious spine. Taking a few more moments, sitting quietly inside yourself. Namaste. Thank you for coming.